have three amazing women here that I know very well because they actually are teaching my son who's 4. And my kid absolutely loves his virtual classroom so much that I really tried hard to recruit these ladies to come and present tonight because it is changing our lives and it is making life fun and it's making school easy for my 4-year-old. So with that, I'm going to pass it over to Amy, Kelsey, and Jackie. Oh, and I'm also going to put a couple links in the chat for everybody, and I will watch the chat for questions too.
Perfect, thank you. All right, welcome everyone. We're going to be talking about virtual classrooms today. We all work with early childhood right now. You can see Jackie and I are speech pathologists in the district, and Kelsey is our paraprofessional in our class, but she's also working towards her teaching license, and she will be getting that at the end of this year. So we're very excited for her. She will be amazing in a role as a teacher, but we will miss her greatly in our PALS classroom. All right, we can go to the next slide. So we decided to make virtual classrooms because of the distance learning portion that we're all going through this year. Last spring, it was kind of a mess. We weren't sure where to go with everything, and we were kind of in crisis mode. But now we know this is here to stay, and we had to come up with a way to make it engaging for our families. If you are on any Facebook pages, you probably have seen the Bitmoji classrooms. In Rochester, we're not allowed to use Bitmojis anymore, so we use actual photos of ourselves. So now we just call them virtual classrooms. So when we originally saw these virtual classrooms, we had to know our why. They're super cute, but why would we use this in our classroom? So when we started coming up with the reasons, this is what we came up with: to engage students and families in person in our classroom, and then also in that distance learning model when we're not able to have those kids in the classroom. We really wanted to create the consistency between school and home learning. So in our class, we use the virtual classroom as our main circle time. It's always up on our smartboard, and the kids are learning how to use it in school. And so when they go home, they already know how to use it with their families. They don't have to learn how. They're telling mom, no, point here, no, touch here. To make that consistency better when we go to distance learning. And also virtual classrooms are very easy to update and easy for families to use. So we have a template for our virtual classrooms that we are going to create today. We're going to go through with you guys how to make that template, and then you can change it every week. And you can also make it differentiate with each student. So if a student is, for us, we're all speech, but if a student is working on an F, we can put a little F link in there. Or if a student is working on, as a teacher, sight words, you can put specific words in there for that student. So it lends itself to that differentiation for your students because you can change it very easily to different links. As we go through the classroom, there's going to be many, many steps. It might be overwhelming, and that's why we put links in here, and we're actually going to create one with you today. So you'll be able to go back and watch this and figure it out. I like to have 2 screens rolling, and one showing me what to do and one with me doing it on my own. That's why I learn best, because there's a lot of steps to go through. So the next thing we're going to show you is actually a virtual classroom. Either one, Kelsey, is fine.
Okay, I'll go to yours, Amy.
Okay, so here's a virtual classroom. There it is. So there I am, and there's Miss Kelsey in the corner for Kelsey's Corner. So here's our virtual classroom, and this is the template we use each time, and we just changed the books. So as you can see, first click here for instructions. When you click on me, there is, we use Screencastify, and we put a little piece in there about how you're going to run this week and what's in the different virtual classroom this week with the instructions. And then we have a home button. It takes you back to the home. And then each little piece, you go through the directions up here, click on the mirror. I've seen some virtual classrooms and they just have pieces all over, and then parents don't know what to click. And that was the biggest key, is having it consistent so the kids know where to look, and then also the directions to help the parents out. That's my dog, Sadie Grace. We'll see her later again in another presentation. The kids love my dog, Sadie Grace. They all know Sadie Grace. So I always try to put her in there as something fun for the kids. And then they want to tell me about their dogs. So this is what a virtual classroom looks like. And Kelsey, do you want to click on your corner right there? Kelsey, as a paraprofessional, she has a corner, and then she creates different links for her kids, or for all our kids to go to also. So this is something that a para can do, and also the teacher can collaborate and to make this virtual classroom successful for our families. All right. Anything else you want to say, Kelsey or Jackie, about the virtual classroom?
They are super easy once you get the hang of it.
Yes.
It's really nice to have a template because you can just change it a little bit every week, but the bones of it stay the same. So
right. And Kelsey is our tech guru. I will be very honest. Jackie and I just ride her coattails. So she is our tech guru, and she's figured some things out. When we first started the virtual classroom, we'd click on things and they would auto advance and they would move things. And there was just a lot of pieces to figure out. And Kelsey was the part that made things happen for us with the virtual classroom.
Okay, nice.
Yes, Kelsey was our guru. All right. So we are actually going to get into show you how to make a virtual classroom. Again, there's a lot of steps, as you can see. And when you get this presentation and you're going through, you can go to this slide, and each one of these hyperlinks will take you to a video that we've already made to help you through the process. As I said, right now, though, we are going to go through a live example of taking it from the first stage to publishing it to families. So Kelsey is going to be first.
Sure. So the first thing, and I think Amy kind of touched on this already, is just make sure you know what you want to be interactive in your classroom. Know whether or not you're going to have games in there or videos or things like that, and have a plan for that and how you might want that to look. And so then what you're going to do is actually, so I'll just show you how to open up a brand new Google Slides. Let me see here. Up at the top corner of your screen, you're going to see a little waffle like this. If you don't see that, you'll need to log into Google. And so once you're logged in, you'll see this waffle. You can click on that and go to slides. So that's one way to go to it, and then just open a brand new slide. We've already started one here that we're going to be using. So the first step is just to figure out the background that you want to have. I usually delete the title slides because you're not going to need those, most likely. And then the way to enter a background, if you're not pulling one from the internet, you can always certainly do that. Go to Teachers Pay Teachers or any other place. The one thing I will advise is that if you're using this for a specific organization or school, just be aware of, if you're downloading something from Teachers Pay Teachers, sometimes they will ask to access your drive. So just make sure you're aware of what your school's policies are on that. I won't download from Teachers Pay Teachers just because they usually ask for my drive. So I just like to use Google, but you can also access that from within Google Slides. So if you go up to here to the word background right up here, you can choose an image. If you've already downloaded one, great. You can upload that right here by clicking browse your computer. Or you can just go to the Google image search. Typically what I will type in is wall floor. And that brings up a bunch of different walls and floors that you can put into your background. So then you just kind of go through and choose which one you like. For today, maybe I really like this one. So we'll put that one in there. Oops, that one's too big. So we'll try a different one. Here we go. So this is our wall and our floor, and that's kind of where you start with your virtual classroom. So then I will throw it back to Amy.
All right.
I'm going to stop sharing here so that you can share yours.
Yeah, we're going to be going back and forth with the sharing, but it will work out. All right. Okay. Can you guys see my slide there?
Yes.
All right. So here's the Google Classroom. The next step is we're going to put items into the classroom, decorations. This is kind of the fun part. Some people get really into the decorating because there's a lot of cool things. So there's two different ways we're going to show you how you can put items into your classroom. The first one is just, get another browser tab, and you're going to go to Google. And then I'm going to put free whiteboard. All right, and go up to images. And then here's one right here. I'm just going to pick this one, the first one. You would right click, go down to copy image, toggle back to your build a class or your classroom, right click, paste. And there it is right there. Super cool. Now on the slide that we just showed you, there is a hyperlink. It says click here. Somebody made this wonderful Google slide that has 125 pages of decorations and different items that you can use in your classroom. So that's why we'll publish this, and then this will be posted so you can get that. So I'm going to show you. So if you look here, this is a bunch of it. There's just everything that you can think of. Bookcases, there's a bunch of backgrounds at the way bottom, like pages 110 through 125. But anything that you can think of, somebody made this document, which is fabulous. We got it off of Facebook. Someone shared it for free. So we are going to put a bookshelf in. So when you're using this is a shared Google slide. So just make sure you're copy and pasting. So you would right click, copy, go back to your classroom, right click, paste. So there's a couple different options on how to get different items for your classroom. But remember that document that you guys can get off of this presentation is amazing. Everything is in there. All right, I think we're going back. I think the next thing is Miss Kelsey. So I'm going to stop sharing, and Miss Kelsey is going to take it over.
Okay, so I'm going to go back to this. So I just want to make sure I'm going in the right order here. So the next thing is to limit what your students are interacting with. So what we found was that as we were designing these rooms, we had a lot of different things in there just for kind of an aesthetic appeal. We liked having some decorations and things like that. So we'd put banners in, we'd put, posters on our walls. But what we were finding is that students would click on these things and it wouldn't link to anything. It was auto advancing the slides. They would get really lost in their classroom. And this can make it super confusing, especially for younger kids, to know what are they even supposed to be clicking on when they're in these classrooms. So we found that it was really helpful to go in and take a picture of our classroom once it's completed, and use that instead of having all of these different pieces. So I'm going to kind of explain how to do that. And maybe what I'm going to do is insert a few more things here. I'll go back to Amy's slide and grab just a couple more items. Oops. Oh, well, I won't do that right now. That's
Sorry.
Okay. That's okay. So there are a couple of different ways you can take a picture of your classroom once you've got all your decorations and everything in there. But the important thing that you need to know is don't have the items that you want interactive in there yet. So what I mean is if you have a book on your shelf that you want students to be able to click on and it will link to a book video, don't put that in there just yet. Don't put any of those types of things that you want them to interact with yet. This is just for what you want your classroom to look like, the things that you don't want to have it change from week to week. It's going to pretty much look like this all the time. So there are two different ways to do it. One way is to go up and do File, go down to Download, and download it as a JPEG. This will save it as an image that you can then insert into a blank slide, and it will all be one item. The way that I personally like to do it, which is a little bit more work, but I think it looks a little bit better because it doesn't turn out as grainy, is I like to take a screenshot of this. So if you don't know how to use screenshotting on your computer, that's okay. You could probably Google it and figure that out pretty easily. But I like to take a screenshot, and what I do is I put it in preview mode, actually, not present mode, because present mode typically has this little black bar down here, and I don't want that in there. So the way that you would do this is go up to your URL up here, the website, and find the word edit and highlight everything after edit. And you're going to type in, you're going to backspace and type in the word preview. And that's going to open your slides up. Now you don't have a bar down at the bottom. And then you can take a screenshot. So I would take a screenshot of this whole thing. I don't know if you guys can actually see me taking a screenshot or not. But I would take a screenshot, and now it's copied to my clipboard. And then I would go back into my classroom. If it loads, sorry. Let's see, there we go. I'm going to put in a new slide. Sorry. And then I'm going to paste that picture in there. And it's taking a little bit of extra time just because it's a lot of bandwidth with Zoom. But it's loading and it'll get in there. And then once it does, you'll notice, so it's all one big picture. Now, when our students are clicking, they can't click the bookshelf. It's not going to advance a slide. They can't click the whiteboard. It's not going to advance a slide. But there's also one very important thing that I need to include in here, and that is how to link this to itself so that it doesn't advance. So the way that you're going to do this is you're going to highlight your picture. So this is your classroom. This is all the things that you are not having your students interact with in the classroom. They're just the decorations. You're going to go up here to this paper clip is an insert link, or you can go to insert link, and you're going to select the slide. Oh, I don't know if you guys can see that. Let me zoom out really quick so that you can see it. You're going to insert link, and you're going to select slide 2. Slide 2. I can't quite reach it on mine. Oh my goodness. Trying to zoom out a little bit more. There we go. Because this is slide 2, I would want to link it to itself. There we go. Once you hit the apply button, it is now linked to itself. And now when you are in your Google Classroom, anything that they click on will not advance. So hopefully that makes sense. What questions do you guys have so far? I know it's a lot. We do have all of this also listed on that slideshow that we're going to send out to you. And there are videos of us doing this there too. So if this seems like it's a lot of details and a lot to remember, don't worry, there are videos to walk you through step by step how to do each of these parts. So.
And I would just say that I have been in classrooms where they don't maybe know how to do these steps, or they haven't taken the time on the front end to do them. And the classrooms are very, very hard to navigate. And your students are likely to not engage for quite as long if it's hard to navigate. And if you have parents supporting them, they are going to have very limited attention for that as well. So taking the times to really get your template set up is super important. And I think that's why we've had some pretty good success, because it's very user-friendly.
So here's a video that you would see if you wanted to go through all of what I just showed you. That would be here as well. Oh, I don't want to start the video. All right, I'm going to stop screen sharing. I'm going to throw it back to Amy.
All right, now we are going to link. We're going to link to different pages in our presentation or in our Google Slides, but then also I'm going to teach you how to link something from a web page, such as Starfall. We do link a ton of boom cards, the fast pins of boom cards, which we aren't going to talk about today, but that's another great thing if you guys want to learn about is boom cards. YouTube, I highly suggest. But we're going to learn how to interact, make these slides linking. All right, so I'm going to share my screen. All right. So first I'm going to teach you how you're going to link to another page. So I'm going to come here. I searched up a book, copy image, and I'm going to put it into my classroom. So now this is what Kelsey was talking about. These are the things we want to interchange. So these are the things we add after we do the part that Kelsey did. So I put the book, we always put the book on the bookshelf. And now I want this to link to a different page. So I'm going to open a new slide. So right there. So when I click on this and I want it to link to page 3. So you click on the item you want it to link. You go up to insert. You push link. Slides in this presentation. So I want this, when I click on this book, it's going to go to page 3. Apply. There we go. So when I click, there's nothing on page 3. We'll put a big one on so you can see. So when we present, oh, where did it go? There it is. When we present over here, I click here and it goes to page 3. All right. Now there's another thing you can do. You can link this book to a different web page. Like I said, boom cards. I'm going to show you how to link it to Starfall. That's another one that you might use a lot with our early childhood kids. So we're going to go to Starfall. Let's go to games. Let's do the pumpkin. So you get onto the page that you want, and you go up here and you copy this address up here. Oh, hold on, there we go. Copy, and then we're going to go back to our classroom. Oh, hold on a second. Let's get a pumpkin to represent. Pumpkin. Oh, well, scary pumpkins, I guess. And let's put that in there. There's that pumpkin. In just a little bit, I'm going to show you how you get that background off of that pumpkin too. So here's this pumpkin, and I want to link it to this Starfall. So you click on the item you want it to link from, go up to Insert, Link, and then right here is where you're going to put that address and apply. So now when I'm in present mode, I click on that and it goes right to Starfall. So it's easy, it's quick, it takes that time away from the teachers having to type the address in and going back, so which is a nice feature. And then you can just toggle back to your virtual classroom. So those are 2 different ways. When you're doing a boom card, or if you decide, hey, I don't want that link on this object, you just click on it and this right here, remove link. So when you're doing a boom card, it's kind of the same thing. You put a link in and you get that fast pin and you put it right in here, and that will take you right to the boom card fast pin, whatever activity you put in there. So there's a couple different ways that you can link the items. And that's how you can really differentiate, by putting the different items in there and putting the different links to the pages, because you can put as many pages as you want. So there's a lot of ways you can differentiate for your students. All right. I'm going to go back. All right, it's Miss Kelsey.
I forgot about this last one. So this is something that we found was really helpful for our students, who, especially those that are going to maybe be using this a little bit more independently at home. As you saw when we were showing you kind of our preview classroom, when you got to see Miss Amy's classroom, you saw that there's a way for them to get back to this main page, the page that their classroom is on. And so the way that we decided to do it, we just decided to do a home button. You could certainly use something else, maybe use a picture of your face or something to kind of indicate that by clicking on this, it's going to take your students back to that main classroom area. And it's pretty much the same thing that we've already been showing you. You're going to put in a picture and you're going to link it to that slide. So for example, if this is our How to Catch a Turkey video and our students are watching the book here, when they're finished with the book, they'd want to be able to get back to the classroom. So again, we're going to go to Insert Image, and you can just search the web right from inside Google, or from inside Google Slides. And I'm going to select, or I'm going to type in home icon. And I like this one, so I'm just going to click on it. And whoops, and I already inserted it there. we go. So then we are going to move this up into the top corner. I'm going to make it kind of small. I don't want it to be super big on my page. And now that I've got it there, I'm going to insert link. And if our first slide is our main slide, then I would link it there and apply. And now when our students are on this page, they can click the home button. It's going to take them back here. They can click back here. So it goes back and forth. It's super easy. And then the nice part about that is you can actually copy this and paste it to every slide in your slideshow, and all of them should already be linked to the main page. So you should only have to do it one time.
All right. It's my turn again. All right, now this next part is very cool. I showed my college daughter tonight when I was trying this stuff out to make sure it worked. Never used Zoom before, so I had to figure it out. And she thought this was really cool. So when I showed you that pumpkin before, there was that background, and I just wanted the item. So now I'm going to show you how you can remove that background so you can just have the item. All right, so I'm going to share screen. Oh, here's our classroom. So this is what I'm talking about, this background. So I'm going to grab this item. So you just right click and copy the image. And there's a web page called remove.bg. And you go here, and there's a couple different ways. So I copied the image already. So I can just push Control V, and it goes right in. So it takes, and then it takes the background right off. So then you can right click, copy image, go back to your classroom and paste. And there is the item without the background. So it looks neater. It doesn't have all the white parts in back or the background. Now there's another way you can do it. So just to get another one, you just cross it out. You can upload image. So something that you've downloaded. So here's my dog, Sadie Grace. We're going to use her again. You just double click it. It was right on my desktop. And there she is with all the background. And it takes all that background off, copy image, go back to your classroom and paste. And there she is without all that messy stuff in the background. It's a really cool feature. And that's how we did when we were told that we weren't allowed to use Bitmojis anymore and we had to use real pictures of ourselves. This is how we did it. We took the picture of ourselves and we uploaded to Remove BG. And it removed the background, whatever was behind us, and then we could put that clean picture into our virtual classroom. So that helped a lot, because otherwise, if you have all those backgrounds, it just gets messy and it's just too much for the kids. So that is how it did take her little paw off because it matched the floor, but that's okay. So that is how you get those backgrounds off of there. All right. Let's see, the next part is going to be inserting videos. That's Miss Jackie.
Yes, so I am quickly going to show you the virtual classroom that I have created, and I'm just going to show you what the video looks like and why you might do it the way we have done it, and then I'll show you how to go about doing it. So, all right, are you guys good seeing my screen here? All right, we're very new to Zoom here. We're big Google Meet people in our district, so apologize for that. But so this is my virtual classroom, and we insert videos for a couple of reasons. First, we insert videos so we can actually give our students instructions on what we want them to do in our virtual classroom. So we work with 3, 4, and 5-year-olds, so obviously they're not reading, so they couldn't read that whiteboard, but also it takes out that navigation piece, because literally in my video, they click here, I am walking them through, hey, these are the things I want you to click on. This is the order. So they're getting that instruction from me. Like Amy has said, you can see in this video, I used Screencastify to make my video, and Screencastify is just an extension that I'm using, and it records my screen, and I'm able to put myself in that video there as well. But you could use whatever method you wanted to make your video. One thing you are going to want to know to do is you're going to want to save your video to your Google Drive. And once you have saved it to your Google Drive, you need to make sure that the settings on that video are such that anyone who has the link can view the video. So that's not the default setting. That's something, or at least it's not the default setting for my school district and our Google Drive. It's something that I individually have to go in and do each time. So then another way that we insert videos is we use YouTube videos as well. We're not making all of them. So if I click this music note here, this is going to take me to the YouTube video. We're working on the letter K here. We have been pretty specific in how we make the videos. When we started our Google Classroom, we were just linking the music note to a video. But like we said, Kelsey is amazing. And she's like, hey, that's not very user-friendly because they're opening a brand new tab. What's going to happen to my preschooler is she's going to watch her video on YouTube. And I have a 4-year-old at home, so I know this is going to happen. And it's going to be hard to get her back to our classroom because there's a lot of fun things to do on YouTube. So we eliminated that step, and we also eliminated the ads by doing it all within our slides presentation. Does that make sense? Okay. So what you're going to do is you need to figure out what you want to link to a video. So for example, I am just gonna add a text box up here. We work on sounds, so we always link the sound of the week to a video of how to make that. This has also been super awesome because in class we are wearing masks and things like that. So we actually pull this video up while our students are in class, so they watch it, so they have a really good visual of how to make that sound. So this is what I want them to touch to access the video. So then, just like Amy did, I need to make another slide here. I need to insert a new slide. And from there, I'm going to go to Insert Video. And you have the option to search from YouTube by URL or going into your Google Drive. I'm going to go into my Google Drive and I'm going to find my video on how to make K. So let's say that one's it. I will select it. And there it is. The next step we would have to do in this is to add that home button at the top to link back to our original classroom. One thing we do when we set up our class template is we actually add a bunch of slides in there, like 5, 6, 7 extra slides, depending on how many like videos and things we're going to add. And we do one of them and we add the home button and then we just duplicate that slide like 5 or 6, 7 times. So we already have that ready to go, so we don't have to keep adding that home button. So then I would go back, I would link slide 1. I need to link this K. And it's important to know when you are doing like text, you click on the box around outside it. You don't click on the text, and you're going to insert the link to slide 2. And then it is linked to slide 2. Now to link to a YouTube video, let's say this book, for example, or I'll do something else. I'll add in the music note. Add in our music note here. I'm going to link this to YouTube. So what I need to do is I need to insert a new slide again. And then I'm going to go back to insert. I'm going to go to video. I have to hit back because I want to look through YouTube. And I'm going to find my song, which we're working on K. So I'll find that song. And I will select it there. So now what happens is I'm going to click on this music note again. For some reason, I'm not sure why it linked to slide 1. We don't want that to happen. So I need to remove that link. And I can just delete that there. And I want to insert it to slide 2. And something to know is we have changed the order of our slides today. You know, we've had slide 2 has moved, right? So originally, Amy, I think, linked the book to slide 2, but now it's slide 4. One thing that's really nice is that it automatically updated it. You don't have to go back through and worry about changing it. So that will automatically link back to the slide that you originally made it on. It remembers that. So that is how we are adding in our videos. Is there any questions on that piece? Kind of come into the end here. I'll go back. All right. So then the last thing that we're going to do is we need to publish this to the web. So basically, you'll have your slides presentation. If you've done all this, you've added all your content, you have your videos there, you're ready to go. What you want to do is you want to publish your slides to the web so that when you send it out to your students and families, they have access to view the slides presentation, but they don't have access to edit or change anything because you don't want them to be doing that. So the way that you do that is you go to File, and then you're going to go down and hit Publish to the Web, and then you hit the Publish button, and you're going to Control Copy, and that way you can either email that link to your students and families, or you can insert it into their Google Classroom, or however you are doing that. Then they have access to that link to that classroom, but they cannot make any of the changes, and we don't want them on our end to be making any of those changes. So that is how we publish it to the web. So we have now gone through kind of start to finish how we have built our virtual classroom, what has worked well for us. We have worked our way through this presentation. As we said before, we'll send this, I believe we'll send it out, or you guys will get the link to this. And in each slide, we have short, like 3-minute videos. So you can go look back on how we did all the different pieces to it. And you'll also have access to our classrooms. So if you want to take a look through and get some ideas, you can. Amy said there's a ton of Facebook groups out there. If you type in, Amy, is it Bitmoji for Educators or Bitmoji Craze for Educators?
I think they're both, and it's a lot, just gonna say, but a lot of people will share free things on there and free slides, which is kind of nice too.
Yeah, so if you're not familiar with them and you just want to get ideas, or you're not working in, speech early childhood, you'll get a ton of ideas on that Facebook group. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. Is there anything that we can go back through, or any questions we can answer?
This is Mick from Red Wing. Quick question for you. So when I use a PowerPoint, like I hit the arrow keys sometimes to advance, or I'll just click on a blank space and it'll automatically advance to the next slide. Does that not happen when they publish to the web? Is it just link clicking then?
Yes.
So, yep, because we did that trick that Kelsey showed you on how to take the screenshot of it, it's not going to auto advance because you linked it back to that home page, that slide 1. Only the things that you want them to link to, like if I click on K, that will link to this page. Yeah. But let's say if I'm going to click up here on this banner, that's nothing. It's actually just linking back to itself. It's going back to slide 1 each time I click somewhere that doesn't contain any kind of video.
Gotcha.
And I will say, Mick, there is we didn't show you guys this just because it can get to be a little bit confusing, but there's something we call the box trick, which is, so say, actually, Jackie, do you mind if I share my screen really quick?
Go for it, Kelsey.
If you want to go ahead, and there we go. Mm-hmm. So if you can see here, we have this one, this first slide linked to itself, but these next ones actually aren't. So if, like you were saying, you go in and you click on the side, it actually will advance to the next one after it's done playing. Goodness, that was loud. So it would actually advance to the next slide after it's done playing. And so one of the ways that we did this, or that we kind of figured out a system to get rid of it for young kids who might accidentally click off screen, is we do something called the box trick. And that's where we simply insert a text box, or not a text box, I'm sorry, insert a shape. And we just go with the rectangle and we do the entire screen. We just cover it up like this. And then we link that slide to itself, as we've shown you before, slide 4. If I can get to it, there we go. And then you actually will send it backwards behind all of the things that you want to be interactive. So for me, I would send it to the back because we want them to interact with the home button and the book if we had that there. So I'm going to send it backwards and I'm going to send it backwards again. Now I have everything that I want them to interact with in the front, and the screen in the back, I'm going to just make it transparent. And the way you do that is by going to fill color and going to transparent. And now if there was a background back there, you'd still be able to see it. Does that kind of answer your question a little bit?
Yep, thank you.
Okay.
That's amazing. I didn't even know that Kelsey did that. See, she's our tech guru.
And that was another thing, like with the template setup. So we have like slide one, I call it like the main page or the background photo. But then after that, and I can pull this up too, if this is helpful to see what our template looks like. We have that, but then we have like slides after that are just the background and the home button. And that's already all done on all those slides. We don't have to do that every single time. And then every time we make a new classroom, we make a copy of our template side. So we make a copy of it and then we just rename it and we start working on that. So we never have to like reinvent the wheel, and it does not take, we update this weekly. I mean, it does not take very long then to update.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, once you get that template done, it's a little bit of work to get the template done, but once you have that, you can make a copy each time. It doesn't take any time at all. It's just a matter of what do you want to put into your slides.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Would it be helpful to see like our template?
Yeah, I mean, I think I've got an idea. I know we're switching gears here soon.
Perfect.
Any other questions?
I don't think so. Any final thoughts?
No, they're very fun and parents love them. The kids love them to use them in the classroom and at home. So it's very fun and engaging for the kids, and I think the family too.
And this is something that, I mean, I think that we will take forward with us even, in times when maybe we are not doing any kind of distance learning. It's something that we can just add to increase involvement in our class.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is great. I think it's great for like a choice board activity, a way for extension activities. So this is great. Thank you much for sharing.
Yes, thank you, ladies. That was so awesome. And again, I will tell you, I have so much fun doing my son's homework with him. Like we sit down for a solid hour and a half over the weekends and we do his homework because he thinks he's playing a game. It's really fun. So he loves it. I did drop a link in the chat for those who would like to fill out just a quick survey on the session, just so we can measure some impact on it. Every survey that you fill out, we throw your name in a hat. We like to give out gift cards at these events to thank you for coming on an evening and sharing your knowledge and receiving knowledge and meeting and growing your network. So by all means do that. The next session will begin at 5:40. We just encourage you to join 5 minutes or less before the next session. Jackie, Kelsey, Amy, you guys are more than welcome to stay and go to any other sessions that you would like as well. And thank you so much again for sharing your wisdom and your knowledge. It's fun to learn new tricks to some old tools. So thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.